Welcome everyone to the DevOps Talk number 6. I'm Liane and I'm going to be your host this evening. Yes, for those who have joined for the first time, we are a couple of people who are trying to build a DevOps community in Latvia, in Baltics, and even further above. And so this is one of the things that we are doing, this DevOps Talk event. So as you probably noticed from the name of the event, we have done it already. This is the 6th time. And the event structure is that for the first part, we have a presentation, which today is going to be Omer with a presentation about building this game in Docker. And it will take about I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, including if you will have any questions after that. And then the second part is this kind of facilitated discussion between the people who want to participate on the topics that that you will be able to choose yourself. And so this has been proven to be very fun and interesting. So I would advise for you to join and try it out. Yes, so the people who will be kind of talking this evening will be me, then Omer is the presenter. All this will be facilitating the discussions, and Munetak will be taking notes during the discussion. So later on, we also post a review post in our LinkedIn and in our Facebook groups, which I will share all the information in the chat later. And then you can also find all the pinpoints or the things that were interesting and mentioned during the event in the review post. So feel free to write any comments in the chat. We will address the questions after the presentation, or I don't know, Omer will comment later on if it's fine to ask the questions during the presentation. But yeah, so feel free to communicate in the chat, and I guess that's that. Let's proceed with the presentation.
Yeah, actually, if you have questions, I don't know anything while the presentation. Actually, I don't like much this, the slides, this, PowerPoint stuff. But yeah, you can directly ask, and maybe we can do some kind of bi-directional. We can talk. Actually, we can do some kind of talk way, not directly some presentation way. So yeah, I can maybe start, and then let's see. I can now start sharing. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. I can maybe make it full screen. Yeah, actually, Minesweeper in the command line and with Python and Docker. Actually, yeah, this was the one Medium article which I wrote in Medium. How this started? It started in one of my interviews. With some basic questions for the Python, and then I realized that this is the mechanics for the Minesweeper game. So I done some more change and became some kind of simple game. And then maybe I can do some demo later. Yeah, maybe I can start with the parts that who am I actually? My name is Ömer Karabacak. I'm from Turkey. I have been in Latvia, Riga, more than 1 year, I think 1.5 years. I lived there. I was also former Accenture Latvia person. So yeah, actually, we were talking. I also missed Riga, Latvia, planning to come, but yeah, it's because of Corona time, it's really hard to move around, go somewhere. So yeah, now I'm working in Sport Total TV in Germany. It's actually this streaming company, mostly focused on streaming. There are also this AI ML stuff is happening, that we have our cameras on the fields in the different venues, football, basketball, and some different sports types also in our website. Then we are operating all this streaming platform and also the cameras. This cameras also Linux boxes. They are running our own software, in-house built software. It's written in C++ actually. So it's also using this NVIDIA, CUDA stuff for doing some kind of the AI stuff is running there. It's the focusing where the ball and action is happening. So mostly my day is managing all this infrastructure, this AI ML pipeline, this nearly 1,000 Linux boxes now. I'm managing, and I'm working as a single DevOps now. It's sometimes challenging, I can say. Yeah, I'm a DevOps engineer. As I already mentioned, I'm working as a DevOps engineer. Yeah, actually, I sometimes read some places also in some talks, even some DevOps meetings. It's told that it's not a title, or I don't know what do you think about this one? But yeah, I know maybe people actually thinking that this is some kind of philosophy, some kind of doing things right, or agile, or something. Yeah, DevOps means differently. Even inside some different companies, DevOps meaning is really different. Actually, people, when you say DevOps, sometimes people thinking that it's system engineering. Some people thinking that it's YAML engineering, something like that. But I think for example, for the system engineer side, I was also working in a data center business before in Turkey. So I know actually how much this DevOps, system engineering part is. Actually, this is maybe the physical part. And as a Linux admin, you can manage the physical boxes, maybe even the VMs. But between this stuff, there's a huge gap. Someone needs to manage these clusters, the private cluster or public cluster, or for example, someone needs to manage the Kubernetes or some other stuff, needs to manage. So yeah, maybe this is not for now, it's still in the middle, but yeah, someone in this huge gap actually between the system engineer, this Linux admins, and also the developer part, there's a really huge, empty place that someone needs to fill. So I think this is where this, DevOps comes in and starts. So yeah, these are my opinions. I don't know if you have any other opinions about this stuff, because still sometimes when I have interview with companies, this DevOps meaning in different companies are really different. So it's really changing. Yeah, I also have different experience in the different fields: e-commerce, finance, video streaming, now it's AI ML, and also the data center before. So yeah, this is also, I can say, my hobby. It's like I started when I was 10 years old. As you see, this is my first computer. Yeah, not exactly the same, but yeah, it was similar. So yeah, maybe I'm some kind of dinosaur, I can say. So as a hobby now, I'm also trying to learn the Solidity and creating some smart contracts on ETH and the BSC network as a fun, I can say. So yeah, these are the things. And yeah, this is the Minesweeper game and how it started in Python, but why? Yeah, it all started with an interview, as I already mentioned, for a DevOps role. I applied for one company, and then I have multiple interview stages. In one stage, it was completely, I think, 30 minutes or something. They were, first asked me to create the two-dimensional matrix with a given size. Then after that, it was, in Python, you can quickly write a couple of for loops. After that, the second request was adding the given amount of X. Actually, it was, I think, A, but yeah, it's something X characters in this matrix. So actually in the randomly, the given amount of X. So then this third request was putting the numbers around the X regarding the mine count. It's not called the mine count, but yeah, it's mine count around the cell. So it means that, for example, if you see one around this cell, there will be one mine. Yeah, I think probably you already, I don't know the Minesweeper game. or maybe heard about it. So yeah, this was the that after that, after all these 3 requests, actually the interview nearly completed. But yeah, I realized that these are actually the simple mechanics for the Minesweeper game. So I realized that maybe I can add some more stuff and, you know, make it some kind of command line real game. So yeah, I put some inputs and, you know, it's asking for the columns and rows or something. Then you're picking one. Then after that, you're just opening it. So yeah, it's actually the main mechanics for the Minesweeper game. Yeah, and now maybe I can also give some explanation for the Docker part. And also I'm using the GitHub Actions to quickly package this stuff. Yeah, actually, I just wanted to package it. So the Docker part here actually not a necessary part, I can say, because even if you have Python already installed, because of this small game doesn't have any other dependencies, so you can easily run with just Python. But yeah, I was also planning to add some more features and planning to use some more libraries because it will also add some dependencies. So I thought that maybe it's better to start with, you know, create some simple GitHub action stuff in it and put a Docker file. You know, after the push, it will automatically actually building the Docker image and pushing it to the GitHub container registry. So I thought that maybe it will be easier, you know, to put some stuff and then ship it as a Docker image. And also because of actually when I was working on this stuff, then I realized that maybe I can use the same mechanics for creating another simple game. Actually, with this game also, I'm planning to make it run through the command line. You can play it multiplayer with your friend. This is going to the battleship. Actually, I already created some part. Maybe now I can do some small demo with the Minesweeper and also maybe even with the battleship. So, okay, let me quickly open my terminal. Yeah. And just a second. I will now drop the presentation part and yeah, maybe I can clear this part. I think you can see my terminal screen now, right? Hopefully.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I can make it a little bit more bigger. Yep. Now, yeah, these are actually, you can see that there is a GitHub folder. Inside this GitHub folder, you can see that there is a workflow, and here there is a one YAML file. Maybe I can also show them in Visual Studio Code later, but yeah, these are really simple stuff. So for example, when I now run the Minesweeper directly, and if I give the, you know, the size and put, you know, any number of mines, yeah, it's starting the game. It's really simple, as I mentioned, because, you know, it's just started with some simple stuff. Now I pick this 4, 5. Now I can select this 3. Yeah, I see that there is a one mine around it, so I can pick 3, 2, 4, 3, and 3, 4. Yeah, there should be one mine then near. Yeah, now, yeah, boom! It's I found the mine, and the game over now. Yeah, as you can see, this was really, you know, simple game. Started with just a small, simple interview. So maybe I can also show some code part. If you can see my screen now, yeah, this is a Docker file. It's really simple. It's just putting this Minesweeper Py file inside this, you know, the Python based container image. This is the Alpine, is the, you know, smallest one I can say. Yeah, it's also adding the entry point and the Python tree and the Minesweeper's Py with this entry point approach that I can pass, you know, this the arguments to directly to the Python script. So with the Docker also, for example, if I run this like this with the Docker image, build and push to the GitHub container registry, for example, with 4.4, okay, probably now I have some problems maybe. Okay. Yeah, this is the demo stuff, right? Mostly happening. Yeah, actually, what I am doing, maybe I can also give some details about this, what I'm doing now. Actually, I stopped using the Docker desktop. Maybe some of you already stopped because of, they changed the licensing, the model, the stuff. Now I'm actually using the Minikube. Yeah, it's Kubernetes actually, but also it has the, the Docker in it. So I don't need actually the Docker desktop because I was just using Docker desktop to run Docker comments, some simple Docker comments in my local or running some Docker containers. So now actually I'm using the Minikube and passing this, the Docker host stuff and this environment stuff. And now I can run Docker comment directly. As you see that these are the Docker containers now. Now I can run this Minesweeper inside the Docker. So let's make it a little bit bigger, put more mines it. Yep. Now it's running inside Docker. For example, now I can pick some more cells. Yeah, 6, 7, 4, 5. Oh, it's already selected. 4. Yeah, it's boom. Now I found another mine. So the game over now. Yeah, what is now running? It's running through the Docker container, and it's passing these 2 arguments to this actually one Python script, and it's running inside Docker. So this is also making, packaging this stuff. Also, anyone who has Docker from the console, from the terminal, they can run this container and play the game easily. Okay. And this I can also maybe show. This is the YAML file. This is the Python file. It's just 253 line. Actually, it's really simple. It's most of time for polishing it, put some colored text and some stuff. So the main mechanics actually running that, for example, if I go down here, there's a method that's run game. I'm calling this actually, it's cleaning screen, create the mine field. Maybe I can show the mine field is really simple one. There's 2 for loops. It's the creating test given the matrix size, and also it's creating when I call this function is also creating the create random mines. It also has some actually this is randomly generating one list. It's also adding the mine counts, the actual mine where actually the mine is inside this created matrix. So after that, it's creating the mine field, adding this the access inside this mine field, and after that also I'm calling this add one around method. It's also adding one around all this cell. So if there's a mine, then it's actually adding one around it. So if there's 2 mines, then numbers are going 2, 3, something like that. So yeah, this part. And then another function is the printing the mine field. Actually, it's showing on the screen, and it's also not showing the all cells. It's only showing the open cell. If the game is over, then it's showing the all cells. So there is also the input part. It's asking for the column and row. Yeah, actually, this part mostly added after the interview, I can say. But the main mechanics was, as I mentioned, it was added at the interview time. So I can maybe quickly also show the other other one, the Battleship one. This is also something. It's a wrong game. Yeah, this is now I can play with the computer. Actually, the right side on the screen is showing my ships, different size and different, big ships and small ones. So the left, maybe you already know the Battleship. Maybe I don't know if you played before. So I can now play with the computer. I'm now shooting one, missile around. So yeah, I found, for example, in 4-2 something, maybe I can put 4-1, 4-3, or 3-2. Yeah, I found the other part. But at the same time, computer also randomly shooting the missile. So it already hit 3 times to my field. So I only hit 2 times. So yeah, this is another game. It's the similar mechanics running with this one too. It's again, there's some cells, some places, and some similar screens, and also similar mechanics for playing the game. I'm also playing, actually, now I finished this main part for the game. I'm now planning to add multiplayer function for this one. Then after that, you will create the game from the command line. It will give you an URL, and then you will send this URL to one of your friends. Then if he also opens it in the command line with this given some number, or I don't know, I didn't plan this part for now, but yeah, then if he or she also opens this, and then you will be connected and you will be playing each other. First, you will put your ships, and after that, it's not going to be random then. So yeah, this can be the bonus part, this Battleship part. So let's back to this presentation and continue. Continue where we left. And then the demo part I showed. I explained why I Dockerized all this stuff. And yeah, maybe we can continue. I also have one Medium article about this one. Gave the details, actually this similar stuff I mentioned now in the meeting. Maybe if you want to read about it, you can read there. And yeah, let's move on. Yeah, how much Python do you need for DevOps? I want to talk a little bit about the programming part for DevOps, and also how much scripting or the Python knowledge you need. For example, most of us that struggling with this, mostly the Linux stuff and shell scripting is you need them. You need it actually, but do you need any programming language knowledge? It also depends the role or the company that where you are, having this this work, actually this job where you are working. Actually, it's completely depend on this stuff, because I know some of my friends mostly working on, for example, with CloudFormation, doing some YAML, some stuff, and with the AWS, mostly maybe sometimes they are using this Terraform. Yeah, but that's mostly, they're not, maybe they're creating some simple shell scripts, some stuff, but most of the times, maybe you don't need, any programming knowledge. Yeah, I mean that, of course, you need that, some basic programming knowledge and some, how this, the language, also this programming language works. But yeah, this is also depends the role and that the position where you are working. But yeah, actually, but of course, most of the times you will need some programming language knowledge other than the shell scripting. It's actually the scripting part. For example, you can also use the Python for creating some simple, small scripts to do similar things that which you are doing with shell scripts. So this is also something. But for example, how much and what parts you need, for example, for the Python, especially in the DevOps field. Yeah, you need to know the basic syntax knowledge. For example, in the demo part, I showed this, some loops, for loops, definition of some functions, some stuff. Mostly, I think as a DevOps, you will create some one file only, one Python file. Probably it's not going to be much complex, I can say. Yeah, of course, if you're doing some, complex things that it can defend, but yeah, mostly it's going to be one single file doing some something. For example, for some repetitive tasks, you can create something. And yeah, it's also good to know the Boto tree. For example, if you're working with the AWS, most of us, I think, working with AWS, but yeah, it also depends. Maybe you are working with different cloud providers, and they also have libraries which you can use. For example, in the Boto tree specifically, I was in my current company. For example, I need something to do with AWS, and with the Python, you can easily use Boto tree library and quickly create some stuff, or do some repetitive tasks. For example, in my current company, we need some Lambda, which will be triggered by after the streaming channel deleted. It will create some EC2 instances, which will actually run FFmpeg for do some transcoding and doing some change on the video and pushing it back to the S3. So, for example, this type of tasks probably you will need, Python knowledge, some Python knowledge, and also some library stuff. Yeah, of course, you can read the documentation, but if you have the basic knowledge, you can do. And also for AWS CDK, it's also possible that you can create the infrastructure with Python. Also the pluming, actually, there will be other tools and libraries that you can use. And yeah, and if I summarize all this stuff, actually, I'm also not a hardcore programmer or expert in Python, I can say. So for daily basis, for DevOps stuff, probably these things mostly will be enough for you. And if we came to the part that why Python, actually, I don't know, in the DevOps field, there are also other programming language. Now I start to hear about it. For example, the Golang is now rising because of Docker and Kubernetes. Most of these tools are created by Golang. But yeah, I'm not fan of the Python. I can say I'm not the fan of any programming language actually, because it's also depends the use case. For example, if you're doing something, for example, for Golang specifically, if you're creating this binary CLI tools, it's really good to have a tool and then build it, compile it actually, and then you have the binary and you can move around. And then if the binary is there, you can run it. For example, for Python, yeah, of course, you will need the Python installed or available in the device or in the VM or somewhere that where actually you're running this Python code. So yeah, this is also depends your need, but most of the times the Python is much more easier than, and it also has a simple syntax which you can easily write some stuff. For example, for me actually, maybe I don't know, it's special for me. For when I'm also looking at the Golang, and it seems that for example the syntax seems really, I don't know, I can say I do not like much. And also for example for the Python part, you don't need to do any setup most of the times because it's included in many operating systems in the default that it's already there. But yeah, it's again easy to install. And for example, for the Python, it's really that you can do maybe anything, I can say. Maybe let's say most of the stuff. For example, start from data science, this machine learning stuff, web development. You can write automation and automated testing, also automation scripts. Even you can create the games. Actually, I know some already some game development infrastructure already in, I think, 2D, but I don't know, in 3D maybe it's also possible, but 2D games you can easily create with Python. And yeah, it also has large library and framework pool. It's also something that you can easily find something when you are looking for, when you are going to do something. It's already, there is a library, there's maybe, if you're creating something, there's a framework. And yeah, of course, there's a huge community. It's really important because, the Stack Overflow is our friend, right? Because if you're searching for something, probably for the Python, you will find easily for the solution, or maybe you can get support from someone. Yeah, it's really easy. And also for creating some simple scripts, it's really suitable. You don't need to compile it, create some binary or stuff. It can be easily move around, and it's also mostly not dependent on the operating system. Yeah, if you're specifically doing some file management or some stuff, yeah, it's dependent of operating system, but mostly it's not dependent. And also in the DevOps field is really demanding this stuff that if you are looking at the DevOps roles, you will see the Python probably there. And for example, if you can see the screen, there is a TIOB index. It's also really popular now. Actually, in the first, it's in the list, the TIOB index. They are actually releasing this, I think, every month. And the Python is now, it's really, I can say, rising. So yeah, and yeah, it's also yeah, as a DevOps, sometimes that you are the people think about that you are some kind of magician. Yeah, I sometimes feel it, but sometimes also people hate from you. This is also something in your daily stuff. Yeah, I can maybe give some examples for this one. For example, I think it was also Black Friday times in my previous experience in an e-commerce company. We were having this 300,000 concurrent users actually shopping at the website. I was managing this search platform for the company, search platform, and we were struggling with this 300,000 people doing some search, and I was managing the Elasticsearch cluster. So it was something that I felt that every 300,000 people, I don't know, like searching on my brain or something. And when there is an issue, for example, now in my current position, I already mentioned that there is nearly 1,000 Linux boxes that camera attached to them. Actually, they are doing the streaming. For example, if something happens and no one have any guesses, and then people are access to you and then asking you for help, then you are the person now to solve this problem. It's your problem. Yeah, I know maybe it's not directly DevOps stuff, maybe it's system engineers thing, but yeah, as I mentioned previously in this whole conversation, sometimes your role also depends on where you are working, and it's also because of this DevOps title is also including many things, so people are thinking that you are the solution. And also when I was working in the finance company, customers are calling, production was down and they don't have access to their accounts. So now it's again because of the production have issue, then it's again now your problem. It's not actually most of times even developers break things, but it's your problem. You have to first identify and figure out what's going on with the production, and then talk to developers or other people for the solution. And yeah, this is another thing also when developers try to do some kind of DevOps things, when they try to create infrastructure or try to write some Terraform stuff. Most of the times it fails, and they came back to you and then ask some stuff that happened, and then you look at it and you will figure out some simple IAM role issue, conflict problem or something, then it's affecting this stuff actually. So yeah, I think every company needs DevOps. So yeah, we are still good, I can say. Yeah, thank you for listening. I think I talked too much. I don't know. In the chat, I also see that all this, Windows 95 times. Yeah. So yeah, And these are the contact points for me. Yeah, find me in LinkedIn, GitHub, Medium, or anywhere. Yeah, I will be happy, if I can answer your question or stuff now. If you have any, or I don't know. Maybe I can also stop sharing my screen and I can also see people. Just a second, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I think that's, I can say, all from my presentation. If you have any question or anything that, yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, so if you, as already Omar said, if you have any questions, feel free to maybe pop them in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Omar. I think that probably was the most fun interview exercise that you had.
Yeah.
Looked really cool. And yeah, I would also
Thank you.
suggest to check out Omar's Medium space. It has a lot of interesting articles. And yeah, I know that we're a little bit behind the schedule, but I think that's fine. And I'm giving the stage to Oldest.